Think you have a strong grip? Think again. Most people believe squeezing a hand gripper or carrying heavy bags is enough. But what if I told you that your grip strength is sabotaging your lifts, your performance, and even your daily life without you realizing it? By the end of this video, you're going to see your hands in a completely new way. Now let me ask you, when you hold something heavy, do your fingers curl naturally, or do you feel like your hand is just hanging there? If it's the latter, you're making the most common mistake almost everyone makes, relying on sheer arm strength and neglecting the smaller, stabilizing muscles of your forearms and fingers. Here's the kicker. Your grip isn't just about crushing power, it's about control, endurance, and even protecting your joints from injury. Yet, 9 out of 10 people tighten their fists all wrong, using only their palms and leaving their fingers out of the equation. Ever notice that your hands feel fatigued after a few reps, even though your arms aren't tired? That's your grip giving up before your muscles even get a chance. I'm going to show you exercises that target every part of your hand, from the thumb to your pinky, from the flexors to the extensors. But first, let's uncover the sneaky mistakes that slow your progress and keep you from unlocking real hand strength. And trust me, it's not what you think. Think you have a strong grip? Think again. Most people assume that carrying groceries, holding a dumbbell, or even using a hand gripper is enough to build serious hand strength. But here's the shocking truth. If you're not training the right way, your grip might actually be holding you back. It's silently limiting your lifts, wrecking your performance in sports, and even affecting everyday tasks like opening jars, typing, or shaking hands. And the worst part? You probably don't even realize it. Let me ask you this. When you hold something heavy, do your fingers curl naturally around it, or do you feel like your hand is just hanging there? If it's the latter, you're making one of the most common mistakes almost everyone makes, relying entirely on arm and forearm strength while neglecting the smaller, stabilizing muscles of your fingers and hands. You see, your hands are designed for both power and finesse. And when you ignore the fine-tuned muscles, you're losing out on both. Here's a little story. I once trained a guy who could deadlift over 400 pounds, but when I asked him to hang from a pull-up bar, he barely lasted 10 seconds. How is that possible? His arms were strong enough to pull a car, but his grip was collapsing. That's because grip strength isn't just about big muscles, it's about coordination, endurance, and the tiny stabilizers that keep your hand from giving up first. And if those muscles aren't trained properly, every lift you do, every sports move you make, and even daily tasks become harder than they should be. Most people think grip exercises are simple. Just squeeze a ball, crush a gripper, or do a few curls, right? Wrong. That's like trying to build a skyscraper by stacking bricks randomly on the ground. Without a solid foundation, everything falls apart. Your grip is that foundation. If it's weak or unbalanced, it affects your whole upper body performance. Let's talk mistakes, because if you can identify them, you can fix them, and fast. The first mistake is the all-palm, no-fingers approach. You see people curling their hands around a bar or dumbbell, but barely engaging their fingertips. They're pressing with the center of their palm, squeezing with the big muscles of their forearms, and leaving the smaller flexors and extensors almost inactive. The result? You look strong, but your grip endurance fails, your hands fatigue early, and your joints take unnecessary stress. The second mistake is over-gripping. You might think squeezing as hard as possible builds strength, but here's the problem. Over-gripping actually recruits the wrong muscles and builds tension in the wrong areas. Think of it like trying to pick up a delicate glass vase by crushing it. You can do it, but you're not going to do it efficiently, and you might break it. Same with your hands. Excess tension fatigues your forearms quickly and actually reduces your control. The right grip is about precise pressure, not raw force. Mistake number 3, ignoring finger extension. Yes, you heard that right. Your fingers need to push out as well as curl in. Most people train only the closing motion of their hand, leaving the opening motion weak. This imbalance is a major cause of tendon issues, joint pain, and even carpal tunnel over time. Imagine a door hinge that only closes but never opens properly. It'll eventually jam. That's exactly what happens when your extensors lag behind your flexors. And finally, mistake number 4, poor positioning. This is subtle but critical. Your wrist alignment, thumb position, and even elbow placement can make the difference between an exercise that builds true strength and one that just strains your joints. I see it all the time. People curling a gripper with their wrist bent, their thumb floating, or their elbow flared. That misalignment shifts the load from the small stabilizing muscles to the bigger ones, which means your grip gets weaker over time instead of stronger. Now, here's a mini light bulb moment. You don't have to lift heavier or do more reps to fix your grip. You just need to engage it correctly, in a way that hits all the muscles, joints, and tendons that are currently underworked. It's kind of like tuning a musical instrument. You're not adding more strings, you're just adjusting the ones you already have so they resonate perfectly. I know what you're thinking. Okay, so I'm weak, I've been doing it wrong, but what's the right way? Hold that thought. I'm not going to give you the full answer just yet. First, I want you to notice this. Every grip exercise you've done in the past probably trained only part of your hand. Even if you did curls or grippers, your pinky was probably trailing behind, your thumb wasn't pulling its weight, and your fingers weren't coordinating properly. That's why people plateau. They think they're building strength, but their hand mechanics are still off. So here's the secret tease. The proper grip isn't about crushing. It's about alignment, coordination, and activating the right muscles in the right sequence. When you do it correctly, you'll notice three things almost immediately. You can hold heavier weights without strain, your hands feel more connected to your forearms, and even simple tasks like opening jars or gripping a tennis racket become effortless. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to take you through exercises that start simple, then progress to intermediate, and finally advanced variations that even seasoned athletes often miss. We'll cover exact finger positions, wrist angles, thumb mechanics, and how to balance tension across all your hand muscles. You'll also see side-by-side demonstrations of wrong versus right form so you can feel and understand the difference. But for now, I want you to take a moment and reflect. When was the last time you really focused on how your hands move? Most people never think about it. They assume their grip is fine. By the end of this video, that assumption will be gone. You're going to train smarter, not harder, and your grip will finally match the strength of your arms, shoulders, and core. Stay with me, because once we start the actual exercises, you're going to experience aha moments where you feel muscles working you didn't even know existed. And trust me, that feeling is addictive. Think you have a strong grip? Think again. Most people assume that carrying groceries, holding a dumbbell, or even using a hand gripper is enough to build serious hand strength. But here's the truth. If you're not training your hands the right way, your grip might actually be holding you back. It's silently limiting your lifts, wrecking your performance in sports, and even making everyday tasks like opening jars, typing, or shaking hands harder than they should be. And the worst part? You probably don't even realize it. When you hold something heavy, do your fingers curl naturally around it, or do you feel like your hand is just hanging there? If it's the latter, you're making the most common mistake, relying entirely on your arms and big forearm muscles while neglecting the smaller, stabilizing muscles of your fingers and hands. Your hands are designed for both power and finesse, and when you ignore those fine-tuned muscles, you lose both. Here's a story. I once trained a guy who could deadlift over 400 pounds, but when I asked him to hang from a pull-up bar, he barely lasted 10 seconds. How is that possible? His arms were strong enough to pull a car, but his grip failed instantly. That's because grip strength isn't just about big muscles. It's about coordination, endurance, and the tiny stabilizers that keep your hand from giving up first. Most people think grip exercises are simple. Just squeeze a ball, crush a gripper, or do a few curls, right? Wrong. That's like trying to build a skyscraper by randomly stacking bricks. You need a foundation. Your grip is that foundation. If it's weak or imbalanced, it affects everything you do with your upper body. Let's talk mistakes, because if you can identify them, you can fix them fast. First, the all-palm, no-fingers approach. People curl their hands around a bar but barely engage their fingertips. The result? You look strong, but your grip endurance fails. Your hands fatigue early, and your joints take unnecessary stress. Second, over-gripping. You might think squeezing as hard as possible builds strength, but here's the catch. Over-gripping recruits the wrong muscles and builds tension in the wrong areas. Think of trying to pick up a delicate glass vase by crushing it. You can do it, but you're inefficient, and you risk damage. Your hands work best when pressure is precise, not raw. Third, ignoring finger extension. Most people train only the closing motion of their hand, leaving opening weak. That imbalance leads to tendon issues, joint pain, and even carpal tunnel. Imagine a door hinge that only closes but never opens. It'll jam. Your hands are the same. Finally, poor positioning, wrist alignment, thumb placement, and elbow angle can make the difference between an exercise that builds strength and one that strains joints. Curl a gripper with a bent wrist, floating thumb, or flared elbow, and you shift load from stabilizers to big muscles, weakening your grip over time. Mini light bulb moment. You don't need heavier weights or more reps to fix your grip. You need to engage it correctly, activating all muscles, joints, and tendons that have been neglected. Think of it like tuning an instrument. You're not adding more strings, just getting the ones you have to resonate perfectly.